The Quick Diz Takes podcast is a Quick Diz Takes production.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Hello, I'm Michael Eisner.
Oh boy. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Quick Diz Takes podcast, episode number 70. I am your host, of course, Tim LeBeau, alongside Mr. John Castano,
Hello.
Mrs. Sarah Castano,
Hey, howdy, hey.
and Mr. Stephen Lanzi.
Hello.
You know, week to week, I go back and forth editing that delayed hello, but I think the delayed hello has to just stay in there now because it's just become a signature.
I have a friend who watches on
things do.
YouTube instead of listening like just the podcast. She watches and she always asks why, if it's just the two of us doing the news, that I always laugh after he says hello. And I had to explain he makes that pause so drawn out that Tim has to cut it.
Yeah. Then I was thinking the other day, like, why do I have to? I guess I don't have to.
I do it for drama.
The more you do these things, the more loose you get on some of the stuff. You're like, you don't need. At first, you're like, I want to make sure everything's just like. Then you're like, you don't really get people's personalities sometimes if you cut things out. Some of the stuff we talk about on here, i.e., having to do with Sarah recently in her trip to Disney, needed to go, but unfortunately. But once I get the Patreon page going, I may leave that stuff in for people that subscribe. They can hear them more. Obviously with like.
When we go off the rails.
You could just do a super cut of everything you cut out.
Yeah. Maybe I should start saving that stuff. I don't know. Probably should. Anyway.
Because if you left that in, when we say we go to Disney, a lot of people want to go follow Sarah on Disney to see if she really does that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, now the pressure's on.
But then those are the people we really don't want to get involved with at all.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Police maybe, we may be able to help the police sort out some things. But anyway.
Landy, I'll fill you in later.
No, Landy's aware of what's going on here. So this week we are going to take attractions. See if I can explain this properly. I said classic last week. Then I thought about, I guess it can be anything that you feel that exists that could be bettered by using a different ride system on another ride implemented with that ride. So in theory, if you wanted to put Rise of Resistance in a different ride system, if you think you can make it better, then I guess you could have felt free. But I got a feeling we all probably did older ones. We'll see. And then we got a couple more. We got some attractions to eliminate. And apologies for I don't know if you got Johnny. I'm sure you know. I don't know if Steven knows. We have now eliminated 3 Caballeros twice on this show. There was a little miscommunication there.
Yeah.
But I can assure you.
Was it really going to beat anything anyway?
I was going to say, I can assure you that it's not even worth, I'll send out the apology and that's it. It'll stay as is because it was going to, I'm not sure it could have got matched up against anything other than maybe the Tiki Room in one. So probably not though, because so it's gone twice. And so we'll get to the attractions and then we will put a boy band in Disney parks, which I also wanted to say, I didn't think about this last week. Johnny and I did do an interview with 2 guys from the
Cast Conversations.
Yeah, so Johnny and I did do an interview with Cast Conversations where we put Justin Timberlake into a ride, but that's a technicality. I'm not going to, NSYNC is more, still in play. So let's delve into what we would do with these classic attractions. And Steven, you look like you have a really good idea. So let's start with you today.
Well, I don't know if it's a good idea, but it is an idea. So I was trying to stay away from, Peter Pan, because I just find that it would be pretty easy to, I don't know. It'll just be easy, because flying and things like that.
It's so easy to hate on it too.
Yeah. So I took a ride that I actually do enjoy. It's just a different way of maybe presenting it. So I actually chose the Winnie the Pooh ride. And I felt like I really feel like it would be better with like the Pirates ride theme. And look, so many of them are, so you can do Pirates, you can do It's a Small World, the boat. But I was kind of thinking of Pirates for a couple reasons. So the way that it would be set up, the 100 Acre Woods does have a river. So that would be the river that you're on. And I know like in Pirates, there's like a little land bridge, that could be where it was Christopher Robin and there's a Pooh dropping the sticks.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like that could be almost like a scene that you're a part of. You at one point you could have Eeyore floating with alongside you a little bit. When I do this, I go left, or I can go right.
He kind of talks like when Johnny introduces himself. Oh.
Yeah, accurate. So in just thinking about how much room there is, I mean, they really could build, the 100 Acre Woods and Tigger and coming down or stuck on a tree, whatever theme they wanted to. So I just kind of thought, and also because you're on water, right? So when it comes to like when you drop, right? And to where the boat is, you can do kind of like the F-launch. How's he say it? Say it for me. I'm tongue-tied. It woozles.
Oh,
Heffalumps and woozles.
Heffalumps and woozles. Yeah, okay.
Yes. So that could be like where the drop is, and down there with the boat, where it's like a little darker and kind of a thing. So, and they flooded. So this also fits in the theme of water. So, and you can have Piglet with his head stuck in the jar, going by. So,
Nugget.
Go by owls. But so basically, I just take Winnie the Pooh, put it on the Pirates ride, and I just think it'd be a much different experience, even maybe a little bit richer, and just maybe a little bit more to it. So that was what I came up with.
Sarah?
So I kind of toyed around a little bit. I was trying to retheme Pooh. I kind of toyed around with swapping Haunted Mansion and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which if we have time for, I can kind of go into that later. But I ultimately settled on literally doing a swap of Journey into Imagination with my boy Figment and the Mad Tea Party. So this is what I have. Journey into Imagination, because you're theming it with Mad Tea Party of Alice in Wonderland, you're going to keep the teacups as your ride vehicle. So basically we're taking the pavilion of where Journey into Imagination is, and we're remaking that as the Alice in Wonderland attraction. So they are your tour through Wonderland. And instead of this open house of these senses that you're going through with Figment and the Doctor, you're going to kind of get glimpses of Wonderland. So you'll see the tea party, you'll see the Royal Croquet game. The White Rabbit will be rushing you along, like, hurry, hurry, we're very late for this important date. The Talking Flowers, you meet the Cheshire Cat, which I didn't realize until the very end of my thinking, how he kind of would maybe be like those little pop-ups of Figment could actually be the Cheshire Cat. The Unbirthday Party, I mean, you'll see not so much a synopsis of the movie, but kind of what it would be like on another day in Wonderland. And so I was thinking, as far as that goes, we could keep that for that place location. And then where the Mad Tea Party is, we're going to take that and make that our Figment ride, our Journey into Imagination. Instead of that giant teapot in the middle, we will bring back the Dream Finder and his flying contraption. That will be that centerpiece. Instead of the teacups there, I'm not sure, I couldn't think of a ride vehicle to kind of fit. But Figment is going to take control of your vehicle. It will be a very, very, I know you guys can't do spinning rides, but it would be like a scrambler for 3-year-olds. Like, it doesn't spin, there's no whips or anything, but it just kind of like gently mixes you. I'm so sorry, Tim. It gently mixes.
Thinking about it.
Gently.
I'm dizzy thinking about it.
Into this imaginary land. And then I was thinking how, like, Alien Swirling Saucers, if you've been on that ride, without the whipping. I'm just saying how it switches tracks. So you can kind of weave in between the different tracks of vehicles, which are in this case teacups that we're going to change. You can have like canvas slides that come around with like these imaginary lands, so kind of silly places that your imagination would bring you to. Like if you're thinking of somewhere tropical that's kind of silly, or you're in the mountains, but you have these very imaginative creatures. And so each set of teacups could be surrounded by this like printed canvas that would roll out and then retract back when the ride was done, about this fantastic imaginative place or this imaginative animal you've encountered or something like that. But we'd bring back the Dreamfinder. It wouldn't be like a spinny ride. It would just be like a motion ride. I say scrambler loosely.
All right. I like how you took it to the next level and actually swapped out the attractions completely.
That's what I do.
That's pretty good. It's good. Johnny?
Well, I'm going much simpler. I'm taking nice, boring ride, Dumbo. And we're taking Dumbo and we're just swapping it right onto the Flight of Passage technology. So you can still ride Dumbo, and that kind of fits in because you're riding a Banshee, so you can still get those motion, the breathing motion and everything, like you're sitting on Dumbo's back. And basically, I would probably you fly around the circus type thing, but I would probably use more of that live action, the live action movie more than the cartoon, just to get more of that real feeling. But basically, you're just flying around in between, you can do the train cars and then the whole circus, and just keep it simple, but upgrade the more popular spinner ride, but at least just give it something more than going in circles, and give you more of a feel like you're flying on an elephant. Simple.
And make it worth riding for people that are over the age of 5 years old.
Yeah.
For a brief second, you're like, I'm going to switch Dumbo. I'm like, watch them say like with Aladdin's carpets or something. I'm like, that'd be so lame.
You switch Dumbo to
Primeval World.
Yeah.
Or not Primeval World. What's whatever the Triceratops spin.
Triceratops spin.
Yeah. Lame. All right. So I wanted to take a ride that doesn't need to be changed. Originally, we came with the idea to take a ride that needs to be changed. But then I was like, I kind of want to like change Pirates. Not because I don't like Pirates, but because I want to like give it a different, like it could still do all the same things. But one thing I always find that one criticism about Pirates is it should have more thrill elements to it, in my opinion. Nothing like crazy, but some more drops or something, some rough river, something in there. I don't know. But so I decided that I would do that, and I would put it in where Splash Mountain is, or where Princess and the Frog will soon be. I don't have all the logistics in my head yet, Johnny, because I know, I guess you could put the boat where the boat is now, and you would drop down the big hill and then turn the corner and still get kind of that effect that I know Johnny likes so much. He has mentioned many times in the show. We'd have to lay the story out a little differently. But or we could somehow try to cram it into where the laughing place is and have that drop kind of turn you in there. But either way, it could be done, I'm sure. And then obviously just spread out the scenes accordingly and just get more drops in there. And the other thing I would say about it is little like bonus is you could also put Jungle Cruise in. I was thinking in Splash Mountain now. I don't know if anyone's seen the movie yet, but have you seen the movie now?
We saw it yesterday with the boys.
There's more action and adventure now, so I think it could fit better.
Yeah.
And the only problem with that is you're not going to have. Well, you can still have the skipper spiels like during the slow, windy parts, I guess. But anyway, that movie was good, I thought. So
I was not the only person who was laughing out loud in the theater. Yeah. And then the children were like, "What? What's funny?" Like they didn't understand the puns, but I was like, "Just watch the movie. Just watch."
Yeah, I thought it was well done for what it was.
Well, one thing I want to point out is because you're talking about redoing a couple of classic rides, right? And every time they do that, I mean, let's face it, we're guilty of it too. It's like, no, it's classic. It's been that way for 30 years. What are you doing? You know, I say that you can have more than one ride that's themed after one thing. I mean, how many Star Wars rides are there? So I think a really good idea. You know what? Keep the classic, because look, you need to spread people out anyways, right? So keep the classic Pirates ride, but then make one that's a little bit more of the movie. You know,
Make that one World's End,
Yeah,
where they have to flip.
Right. Exactly.
Well, the Shanghai Disney one's sick. Have you seen that one?
No.
Yeah, you should watch that on YouTube. That's an amazing that's an amazing version of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
It's really, really good.
And in a similar, I haven't seen the new movie yet, but you know, keep the basic, you know, Jungle Cruise, but then make a movie version of it. I mean, I just think, just because I think you can separate the two, you know, and that's a good way, I think, to add more rides, like I wish they would, to help spread the crowd out. You know, and especially in Hollywood studios, where, I mean, Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror, and people, and I do it too, just kind of go boop, boop, and keep bouncing, depending on the wait times, but the wait times become 90 minutes. So I think that'd be a really good idea. It's just to kind of split the difference.
Yeah, I don't hate that idea. What I did like about what they did with Jungle Cruise, the movie, and you can disagree with me if you want, Johnny and Sarah, but I think what they kind of did is the ride is kind of like, when you go on the ride now, you're just kind of in the universe. You're not really riding specifically to the movie, but you're just in the movie's universe.
Yeah.
And experiencing a ride that you would get if you were
In
the Amazon
space. Yeah.
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 I think it was a smart play.
His tour.
Yeah, I think it was a smart play.
Yeah.
So we meant to get, you know, so anyway, you know, it's funny because any ride, when they refurbish rides or they reskin, like, you know what I love to see them do to a ride? Well, they have done it. They did it to Imagination, and that sucked. But would people be mad if they went into the Haunted Mansion and completely redid the whole thing, but all the scenes are the same, but just like better, like looking?
Like pimp out my Disney attraction.
Yeah, like it's completely the same, but it just you're gonna see the songs, everything's gonna be the same. Just everything's just gonna look better. You know, I think it's a bad example because Haunted Mansion it needs to look old and creepy, so it kind of works out. But you know what I mean. So if it was Pirates or whatever, you know. Like
so when I was
no, I'm just saying everything was the same, and it's just better. It'd be interesting.
So when I was thinking about the Haunted Mansion and Mickey and Minnie's swap, because I did a swap for that too. I was thinking for Haunted Mansion, you could keep that trackless ride system. You could keep the projection, so you'd get that same story, except it would be on a trackless system. So you could mix up the order of the cars. It wouldn't be the same all the time. But then it was a little bit more, it was different for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway inside the Haunted Mansion space. And I was thinking, obviously you have to change the outside so it's not so stately and whatever. It needs to be more toonish, kind of like Mickey's Toontown that was demolished and whatever. And I was thinking for the, your ride vehicle wouldn't be a dune buggy, it would be a couch. Like you're going over to have dinner at Mickey and Minnie's house or something. Donald finds the sorcerer's hat in a closet somewhere, and then it like bewitches the couch, and then you're brought, because it's the Runaway Railway, something has to go wrong, right? And then you're brought through Toontown and like other people's places on your couch, but like how to fit that in with like the track system and like going scene to scene. Okay, so this is like a neighborhood you're going through on a couch. Like, am I going to see like Clarabelle Cow's house? Am I going to see like inside their houses? Like, I had a more difficult time trying to get those to swap. Whereas like Tea Party and Journey kind of lent themselves a little bit easier to like storylines and fitting with existing ride systems.
I think with this is the last thing I'll say. I think with the one thing, if I had to pick one thing I didn't like about trackless ride systems, and this is based on some things I've seen at Disney and some other rides I've seen around the world, like on YouTube. Sometimes when you take the whole like linear path out of a ride, to me, it can break the immersion just a little bit because you see the other cars shuffling
Yeah.
like to go in their different areas, and you're like, oh, well, they're going there, and they're going there, and they're going there. I don't know. It's not like a major thing, but
Like when you're
it is a little-
self-aware.
it's a little more self-aware. Like when you go into the waterfall part of Mickey and Minnie's, like you see each car go into their pods, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a small thing, but
Wasn't there like a piece like that? I want to say with the Allen's Energy Universe or something.
sort of. Now imagine
And
like
all
Haunted
of-
Mansion
all
had
the-
it. Yeah.
All of the cars like lined up, and it was like a big, like a 360 screen, or pretty close to a 360
Yeah,
screen.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So imagine like the Haunted Mansion. If the Haunted Mansion wasn't like linear, if it didn't just stay on that track and have and show you exactly what they wanted you to see, it would
Right,
be
right,
a little
right.
bit. It would be weird, you know. It wouldn't, because they have that Mystic Manor in like Hong Kong or wherever it is, and it's a little different than the Haunted Mansion, but it's like a spiritual successor or whatever you want to call it to it, and they have that going on a little bit. And I look at it sometimes and I'm like, it's kind of weird though, because you're seeing the effect, but the other car in front of you is already gone by it, and I don't know, whatever. It's just weird. It's kind of like the one part of Rise of the Resistance when you go past Kylo and the way they cover that animatronic up after.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? It looks out of place to me.
That thing just.
Yeah, I don't. It looks kind of to me. But
It
anyway,
looks like something that Kylo could easily use the Force to get out of his way.
yeah, I don't even know like what is it exactly is it supposed to be?
Part of the ceiling, I think, like when an explosion hit, it blew up and it crashed on him, but it very much is easily identified as a swinging piece of like
Yeah, it
triangle.
doesn't. All right, so if that's what it is, for me it doesn't work then. I don't know. Something's weird about it, but whatever.
Spoiler, Lancey, sorry.
Yeah, it's not major, but it's just weird. All right, on to our attraction series.
Let's get ready to rumble.
He earns another night on the Galactic Star Cruiser.
Oh, I had a good laugh. So, Gold Medal had to do a settlement because they gypped us out of a lot of money over the last like 6 years. So I got the check in the other day, and I told Scott, I said, I did pretty good. I got I forget what I got, a little over $6,000 in the settlement, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, there you go. Now you can go on the Galactic Star Cruiser for 2 nights. And I'm like, yeah, don't think so.
Not happening. Ooh. Thanks for listening to our show, though, Scott. We appreciate you.
I got money from the post office too this week. They owed us a bunch of money too.
I'm a teacher and it's summer. I don't get checks.
Companies screwing their employees out of work.
They had to pay us 15 minutes a day for like 7 years or something like that because they were supposed to, and they made us not clock in. It was a mess.
They did that to us. They had to go. It took them like months. They had to go back and figure out. They were supposed to pay us this, they were supposed to convert us 6 months early, so they had to go back and reconfigure all that 6 months because they didn't follow the contract, and it was like $7,000. It was
Well,
nice.
Gold Medal did it even better. They knew what they were doing, and they just kept saying, "Hey, don't worry
Oh,
about it."
that's
And eventually, someone got fired, and they were like, "Oh yeah," they went and got a lawyer. Now we all got paid. But anyway, we got 4 attractions left, and depending on how fast the first vote goes, we may get rid of both of them today, and it'll be the end of the series completely. Away we go.
Star Tours, the People Mover.
Okay, Star Tours versus the People Mover, and then Expedition Everest versus Splash Mountain.
Oh.
So let's start with Star Tours versus the People Mover. They built Galaxy's Edge. Star Tours isn't that bad, but they built Galaxy's Edge. Star Tours kind of out of date now because of it. It seems like they have no plans to tie it into the land, which I don't like either. And the People Mover is amazing. I have a hat that says I survived the People Mover. So for me, it's the People Mover. Johnny?
So I'm gonna look at it as I can go on Star Tours. I'm not gonna wait in line that long for Star Tours. If it's short enough, I'll go on it. And then if I was to go to Hollywood Studios and not go on Star Tours, I would not feel that disappointed. But the fact that not this past Christmas we went and the People Mover was closed, and I was upset about that. And I didn't feel a complete Magic Kingdom day by not going on the People Mover. So I think I have to stick with. I think I have to go with the People Mover because I was more upset that was closed when I was there, and I don't know, and that one scene with the whole realized vision of Epcot, like what Epcot was supposed to be. I don't know. I just every time I go on that, I pray that the ride breaks down, so I just stare at it, but it never does.
And he does chant, break down, break down, break down, break down, break down, break down. The kids, what do you say?
All right. So that's 2 for People Mover and an extra point for the fact that I finally get to play my I'm willing to wait for it soundbite from Hamilton. Stephen?
So, here's the thing. I have never been on the People Mover. I've always meant to.
Well, it's been nice talking to you. We'll see you later.
And you are officially the first person to directly get that for yourself on the show.
I mean, I deserve it. I deserve it. I get that. I think I was going to go on it once, and then it wasn't working. And I think that's been on 2 trips that when I've been in the park, it's been down.
Were you trying to get out of the rain?
What was that?
Were you trying to get out of the rain?
I definitely was not in the tiki room. I'll tell you that much right now. I voluntarily gone into the tiki room twice on purpose. The first time was because I had never been on it. Been in it. And second was it was literally like the rain that we were supposed to get today.
Yeah.
And it was like I can either be dry in a tiki room with a headache, or I can be in the rain because God forbid you can't stay near any rides because they push you out. So, anyways, neither here nor there.
This guy can't escape a tiki room conversation every week.
Yeah, no. Well, that's how you know it's me.
Yep.
So I've never been on the People Mover. I've been on Star Tours, and I've enjoyed Star Tours. I have not been down since they redid, since they've done Star Wars. Really, I have not been on those new rides. So for me, my memory is going to be my memory of Star Wars is going to be of Star Tours. And I remember the first time on it, I mean, to hit to light speed and have the lines come at you and you go through the tunnel. And, yeah, that was pretty cool. And I that was an amazing cast member, by the way. So I was sitting down, I said out loud, I think I've seen everyone but General Akbar, right? I was like the only one I had not experienced yet. And I think she hit whatever button that brings them up because all of a sudden, hey, there he was in front of us. And I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. So I'm going to have to go to with Star Tours. So.
All right. Sarah, you're going to either send us into another wild internet vote, or you can save the People Mover right here for all the people. So
You must choose. Choose wisely.
I'm loving my sound bites tonight. They're fitting in so well.
I think you plan some of these out. Are they labeled now that you can quickly get them?
Well, they're always been labeled, yeah. But I just can't get the right opportunities sometimes.
Well, you gotta know. So I like Star Tours. I like the idea of it. I think it's a cool concept. We were actually just watching the behind the attraction on it today. I could never place Paul Rubens as the voice, but it makes perfect sense now. I like that it's randomized for your journey. Like Lindsay said, the light speed with those lines, that's super cool. However, I'm bummed if I don't go on it, but I'm not upset. And I can honestly say that I was very upset when People Mover was closed and did not reopen with the rest of the park. And we had talked on the podcast about how we were scared that this ride was going to go by the wayside like it did in Disneyland. I also enjoy People Mover, but I mean, the city is cool. Not to take that away. The city is cool, but I like being inside of Space Mountain. That's kind of my favorite places when you go through that direction. So kind of being able to peek in at the Merchant of Venus gift shop and just kind of people watching. I feel like every time I go on it, I take a quick video of the the work that's going on with Tron, and I kind of like look at it later and dissect it. Like, oh, can I use any of this for the show? Like, what can I send Tim now? So I'm gonna go with the People Mover, but Star Tours is really cool. I would be sad to see it go. I feel like Star Tours kind of gave some sparks of ideas for other things to come, but it needs to be like a sim where I can just pick it up and move it to the rest of where it appropriately belongs.
Star Tours. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Well, let's give this. The thing with Star Tours is, first of all, we'll give it the.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
And then, if there was a way to potentially incorporate it into Galaxy's Edge, I would consider keeping it, but it's really awkward where it's placed now.
If they could build some kind of like,
I don't know.
Connect the ride ending instead of it going through the gift shop, which is like blasphemy to not do on a Disney ride. If they could like somehow extend the ride through, maybe not the Utilidor, but some kind of quarter that would like fast track you behind all the other attractions and then put a gift shop there for you to walk out through and you end up in Batu somewhere, like that would be fine. I don't know.
You have to swap.
Or you can just get rid of the Muppets
Vision.
altogether over there.
Swap Muppet Vision and Star Tours.
Which, I mean, I want the Muppets in the park somewhere, one of the parks.
He's just
But-
saying to flip flop them, right?
But I'm not saying you don't have to keep Muppet Vision, but I would say swap a Muppet Vision type ride, put it where Star Tours is, and take Star Tours and just move all those things to where Muppet Vision is.
It does make
And then
me
you have
wonder.
the exit into
It does
the
make me
two.
wonder if they're going to do that one day. If they're just, because I mean, you could just take the whole Muppet area right into Star Tours and extend Galaxy Edge
Yeah.
out if you wanted to, pretty seamlessly. So I wonder if that's going to be like a phase 3 plan, maybe.
I don't think Pizza
Who knows?
Rizzo's not. You don't need to keep Pizza Rizzo, but there's that other one, Mama Melrose. I mean, I've never eaten it, but I know people do like that restaurant.
And they're going to need they're going to need more attractions, eventually, than the 2 they have. So
Maybe something exclusive for people staying on that Star Cruiser.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So they can raise the price even more.
Well, it's
But,
gonna be more money if they add more.
but you could
rides.
justify going on it because you get something that regular general admission park people don't get. You know,
It'll cost you though. It'll cost you more.
Mm.
I mean, I'm not going to go in it anyway. I'm just saying, give them something exclusive for staying at this place. Include a
they-
robe. I don't
What are you
know.
talking about? They're giving you breakfast that's from 7 to 8, and then
7 to 8.
and then they're letting you eat up Dock and Bay 7. Jeez, what more
It's
do you want?
terrible.
Does
At
it
least when-
include a spork?
So I have a quick question for
It's not even 40. It's not even 48 hours.
currently.
But eat fast.
So just because I've never been on the People Mover, just for fun, I put on my phone right off screen here, so I can at least see what it is.
Experience the ride.
And it just ran by, and it passed what looks like a roller coaster. Is that the
That's Tron.
roller coaster?
Mhm.
Yes.
And which park is that going to be?
Magic
MK.
Kingdom.
That is going to be,
Amazeballs.
well, it looks amazing. It's definitely going to be swamped, but I'm thinking that's a good thing because this is what I'm talking about, where you need to start, spreading people out. And this could really affect the line in a positive way with Space Mountain, Splash Mountain, like just any, because I'm thinking of Animal Kingdom. I go on Everest a dozen times, no one's there because everybody is getting done with
Pandora.
Avatar. So I think this is going to be pretty amazing.
More rides, more rides.
Tomorrowland.
And you can
Just what
pay.
they needed.
You could pay extra money and get right to the front of the line too.
Oh,
No problem.
Yep.
have you listened to the news this week, Lansy,
About Disney,
about the fast passes or fast?
I
Genie
saw that the article, and I haven't got back to it. What did it say?
So basically, there's 3 tiers. So fast passes, as we know them, RIP. We will now have Genie, which is a free service that will help you customize your day based on stuff that you tell them you like and are interested in. Then the next tier is Genie Plus, which you pay $15 per person for the day at Disney World and $20 per person at Disneyland. And it is kind of like a fast pass in a sense, but you can only hold one at a time. We need more details because we're not sure if after 2 hours you can get another one, like in other parks, or if once you've used that express line lightning lane.
Lightning pass.
Once you use that pass, then you can get another one. We're not quite sure. There are more details to come. And then there's something called Lightning Lane, which is a paid service. We're not sure of a price, but it's kind of like a right to the front of the line, but you get 2 of them for like high demand rides. And that price is to be announced.
Based on time of year, time of day. So
yes, attendance at the park, all that.
It could be $25 at 11 o'clock, and then at 5 o'clock it could be $15. Who knows?
And it is rumored
So lame.
that you will be required to only you required to get a lightning pass for like Kilimanjaro safaris, Ratatouille, Rise of the Resistance, like a lot of the high demand rides. Slinky Dog Dash, I remember, was on there, but there's like a list. So
once again,
can stand by that.
Disney hating middle class. Really.
but it's better than the $18 per person per ride that Paris is seeing. I think Johnny hit it on the head when he said we use Paris as a temperature gauge. People freak out. They present what they really want to go, oh, it's not that bad because Paris is doing this. Paris pays this much. Oh, it's not that bad. And as always, Disney did give the disclaimer that there will always, always, always be a standby line, except for rides at this point.
It's just like, it's like Disneyland. It's like Max Pass Disneyland. And I don't know, people say that was good. So I don't know. It might work out.
Yeah, the $15 tier doesn't seem that bad.
No,
I'm just wondering when they're going to drop the bombshell of what that top tier is going to be and
Yeah.
how much is going to slow everything down.
But like for me, again, it's 15's not bad, but it's also per person.
Mm-hmm.
But this one,
yeah, it's $45 a day for me.
this one
with my
is
family.
for the whole day, though.
But again, I already spent $100 or more just to get in the park.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the issue. So it's like, oh, well, it's just $15. Well, I'm sorry, I was going to use that money to eat today. Excuse me. So it's only $15. Yeah, you know what that's called in Disney? A slice of pizza. And
Bottle of water.
I mean, it's God almighty. I mean, I've never seen a company so rich nickel and dime people continually.
It's bad lately.
Angry Lanzy's coming out.
He's right about everything. It's so bad lately, though.
Yeah.
But I mean, what
Was it Rob Paycheck? Is that what I sent you?
Rob Paycheck. Yeah, it's his new name. Rob Paycheck instead of Bob Chapek.
I really wish they would just be honest and just say, look, if you're a teacher, maybe a nurse, if you're blue collar, we don't want you. Just enjoy the movies. Great. But other than that, sorry.
Buy the action figures for your kids.
Yeah, but
Well,
there's a certain clientele, that we're looking for. And see, what was so usually good about Disney was you could go. Like, yes, it was always expensive. I'm not saying it hasn't always been expensive, but you could stay at Disney All Stars. Disney. You could. So for room and board, you could stay at a cheaper place. You can bring your food to the park, so and some drinks. So it helps if you're a parent, you got kids. But no one had an advantage over you because of that. Right. So, okay, you stay at Pop Century to save a few bucks, but the difference between someone to stay at the Polynesian and you was a nicer room. And if you're like me, you couldn't care less about the room. You just need a bed. But now you're put at a disadvantage. If you don't want to shell out more money on top of everything that you're already paying, you are at a disadvantage. Your enjoyment is at a disadvantage because everyone else is going to be just getting on that ride. You'll be standing there with everybody else, the rest of the working class stiffs in line, waiting to get on the ride. And here comes just everyone going by. And even if you decide to spend a little money with the genie thing, it sounds like you really don't get a choice. It's like, what do you like? The same rides everyone else likes. All right, we got you on one, maybe that's tonight, 6 o'clock or 2 o'clock. I mean, it doesn't sound like you get a lot of choice. So what happens if you're a parent and that's when you're going to take your kid back to the room because they still nap? Or they're kids and they need a break? It just, to me, it's not very customer friendly unless you are a customer with a very large wallet, like George Costanza wallet, just with money rather than sugar packets. You know?
Well, a couple of things about that make me think. One, obviously there's a ton of inflation. Like the average automobile now in America is like 40 grand brand new. So in their defense, it's a little bit of symmetry there. But I'm starting to wonder where, if they're starting to look at their clientele and thinking to themselves, it's not really, family isn't the main clientele as much as it used to be. Still is, I would say, but not as much. Because you see a lot of adults making trips by themselves. So if the four of us went and we didn't have any kids with us, and you get there and you went through all the time flying down, get there, and they're like, well, for $15, the rides are at your disposal. We're dropping that $15 and we're not even thinking about it. So that, and the fact that maybe they're just like, listen, if each family saves up for 5 years to come once or twice in a lifetime, we're good with that because we got plenty of other ones that want to come right behind them. So we're just gonna, and the rich ones that want to keep coming back, then feel free. But I don't know. They've definitely looked at something over the last, especially during this YouTube era, where they've realized what they can get away with, and they're not going to stop until it stops.
It's definitely very Gen X, elder millennial heavy.
I mean, people were very vocal on social media, upset about this tiering and how it's breaking into caste system. It's like, well, Disney's always had that and people haven't really minded. So, or they've acknowledged it, but it's never been a deal breaker. Like Tim was saying, or Lindsay was saying, you have the Polynesian, your deluxe tier. You have your moderates like the Caribbean Beach. You have your Pop Century, your Art of Animation, and all of your All-Stars as your value, which really aren't, Tim and I have talked, that's not really the value anymore because you can get cheaper places just outside the park property for much less. And nobody said anything about that because you had options. And then there was, even as far as tickets, you can get a regular ticket, you can get a park. I got an R in there, I'm from Rhode Island, sorry. A park hopper ticket is more than just a traditional ticket. You have annual pass holders, you have DVC members, this Club 33, it gets more and more exclusive and people acknowledge it and they move on. And people aren't considering that to be deal breakers. But when, like you guys are saying, you're already in the park and then you have to pay more on top of it. And I forgot to say before, Lindsay, you can't make those reservations for those rides until, if you're staying on property, you can make them at 7 a.m. If you are staying off property, you cannot make your reservation until the park itself opens. So Epcot lately has been opening at 11. People staying on property can try and make their ride reservations at 7 a.m. Just like the reservations for the the virtual queue for rides. If you're staying off the property, you wait until the park you have a reservation for that day opens, and then you can make it. So people on property have an advantage.
Which is kind of like the new wave extra park hours in a way.
Sure.
But my friend Scott has made a good point to it, and I wonder how true it is. But he's like, to me, this is the culmination of what Disney did in the 80s and 90s to get to now. Eisner came in the 80s and he planted the seed in cartoons and constant Disney marketing from 80s, 90s, all over the place to make sure they had cartoons on TV Saturday mornings they never had before. They put all that into the zeitgeist of the world. And now you're getting the result of all the people that grew up in that time period flooding these parks, where I looked it up, like 1990 was like 25 million visitors a year. We're at 58, almost 60 million a year now.
We've talked about before, knowing when
social media,
putting in a festival, putting in a race weekend or some kind of event that draws people in.
That too.
Fools.
They just don't. They don't stop. Which I don't. I guess I can't blame them.
I mean, I wouldn't mind so much if they were putting some of that money back into the park and re-up and either creating more rides. And I know they just feel like, well, we're just to Star Wars. Yeah, great. It's one park.
It was $1 billion for Star Wars.
I mean, Epcot's getting an.
I'm not defending him by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying they did put some money there.
But like, for example, like we keep talking about these rides that just need to be refurbished because no one goes to them. Figment, no one goes to it. Muppets. No one really goes to it anymore. Lilo, I do it all the time, but still, Lilo and Stitch. You know, all these different things. And if you had refurbished those rides to disperse the crowd, look, if rides typically didn't get over an hour wait time, then I wouldn't care. But they're well over an hour. They're 90. Avatar, forget it. I stopped keeping it's 200 and something minutes all the time. But if they could say, look, the average wait time is under an hour, you want to change Fast Pass? I don't like it, but I'll accept it, I guess. But that's not how it is. It's these rides are 90 minutes because they're not refurbishing enough rides to disperse the crowds.
I mean, I think we've all been at Muppet Vision 3D where you can sit in that preview room, you can space out, sit on the floor, whatever. This past trip when we went, they kept telling us, now we're still in a pandemic, people. Move in, take up all available room. We have more guests coming in, more friends coming in. When we got into that theater, I would be lying if I didn't think that every single seat in that theater was taken. I have never in my life seen the theater that full, ever. Usually you'd get maybe 200 people in there.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, it's so sporadic and spaced out. Like, some people have entire rows to themselves. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if you looked around, it seems like every seat was taken. I have never seen that. And I don't know if it's because rain was coming or it was super hot and people needed an air conditioning break. I don't know. I don't know if people were just fed up with super long lines, and Muppets reliable because it's a show, so they can perfectly time it to get and it eats a large group of people up. But I've never seen it that full in my life.
Well, you can't get fast passes right now too, so
Right.
people are just going with the flow. And then to speak on Lancy's point, I think their solution is not to get more attractions to spread people out, to price people out, to spread people out.
This is
You know what I mean? To keep the people out by pricing them out.
Yeah. Well, this is another question. I wonder if their numbers show that people are doing Disney vacations less, like meaning immersed Disney, all Disney vacation. I wonder if their numbers are showing that a lot of people are staying off property and maybe spending a day or two in Disney, like making it more of a Florida trip with Disney involved, rather than this is an entirely holistic Disney trip. I wonder if their numbers may be showing something to that effect, because with the prices the way they are, that's kind of where sometimes I see myself going, staying off property, picking a couple of parks to, maybe 2 days worth of doing a couple of things, but then enjoying whatever else Florida has. I wonder if their numbers are showing more people doing that. Because if you just spend a day, well then, okay, you know what? I might as well just spend that $15 and try and get some fast passes.
I don't know. All I know is they've been hiking prices. When they were hiking them earlier, they were like a little rough, but they were easier to swallow. Now with COVID and JPEG almost at the same time taking over, it just seems too coincidental to me that. And JPEG had the reputation before he even got there that he was going to be that guy, because he was running the parks at first and he was cutting costs and doing everything, and then he just took everything over and just went nuts, as far as I could tell. So I don't know.
Someone put up like a jokey kind of.
Not going to stop though.
No, kind of a satiric post on social media about how it was a letter from Bob Chapek to the guests of Disney World Resort that they're now going to have paid restrooms. And it, like, the whole article was just very on brand for what's happening in the parks. And I don't know if I tagged you in it, but I kind of giggled a little and I was like, you know what? I wouldn't be super surprised if something like this came about.
I wouldn't put it past them. There's a fast lane for the bathroom so you can skip the line.
This is what happens when people feel that they need to make shareholders happy before guests, and that's really not. First of all, it wasn't the point of Disney. It's not something Walt, I don't think, really supported. I mean, the thing is though that they're making money hand over foot, like at this point,
and everyone's on their side.
Good Lord, like you're making money, like you own like 80% of the studios. Like I don't make another Pirates movie with Johnny Depp. You gotta make $200 million tomorrow. It's just.
Allegedly, they're looking to acquire Sony too to get full rights to Spider-Man.
Yeah, so I'm not. I mean, they own the Avengers. They have Marvel. They have Star Wars.
Are they trying to get all of Sony? I thought they were just trying to get the rights to Spider-Man.
On the article I read, and it's going to be in the news this week, it says to acquire full rights to Spider-Man. So it may be a partial buyout or just.
I think they just want to buy out Spider-Man.
I think so, but I mean, if they can get Sony for a price, then they'll just corner the market and have this massive.
If they can get
It's
Sony,
already cornered anyway.
They get Sony, they can have a whole Breaking Bad land. That'd be awesome.
That
It was.
that might be a separate.
It was like, what was it last year? The year before, it was like 8 movies or something like that that made over $1 billion. The box.
Yeah, they were like in the
and
top.
Disney had
yeah,
like 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah, they had a bunch.
It's like, okay,
Like that's what I'm saying.
it's obnoxious.
It's like you're making billions. Why are you going after my $15 just to get some fast passes? Like you can't. You are not that desperate. They
have to buy Spider-Man now, and then I know that they're gonna make a play. I know they want to buy those the Marvel rights from Universal, so they can have the characters in Orlando.
Yeah.
That's gonna come too. So they're saving all that money.
It's the corporate structure of America.
They're gonna get that bank account.
You got
money for Universal.
You got to figure out how to make more. It's just how capitalism's set up.
You do know one day we're gonna find out they have their own like standing army, navy, air force. Like we're gonna find out one day that Disney has its own military.
I mean, they do have their own police and fire.
Yeah, so they're getting there.
Petey Creek District, that's
theirs.
We're
gonna see fighter jets with Mickey's, the.
Can you imagine?
On the tail.
God forbid a global war break out at the moment, and all of a sudden you're bombed by a cartoon duck.
He was involved in World War II.
That's why I picked him.
Propaganda.
Every time they drop a bomb,
it's my boy Donald. He's grumpy for a reason.
Every time they drop a bomb, you just hear Goofy. Like every time.
Jeez. That's anticlimactic way to go. All right, let's.
You've gone off the rails. All right, Everest.
Yeah, we went off the rails there.
You better get you need to get a train whistle sound.
I wanted to get the other attraction. Can we do the other attraction really fast? I want to just get it done. So Expedition Everest and Splash Mountain. All right, I'll start first. Splash Mountain's one of my all-time favorite rides. However, I'm going to look at it like this. Everest still doesn't have an IP attached to it. It's the last thing I think Disney has made original for the park. So I'm going to vote. I'm going to keep Everest. Johnny? Although I like Splash Mountain better. I'm going to keep Everest.
I don't know. Splash Mountain's like... Splash Mountain is definitely like... Oh, it's usually Haunted Mansion and Pirates in the top 2, and then Splash Mountain's usually that third for me.
Yeah.
I think I would keep Splash Mountain. I mean, granted, I know the history behind it, but if a little kid doesn't know the history behind this movie and they enjoy, you can enjoy. I like if you were an innocent person, that innocence, you'd know nothing about it because it's just a ride of these. I don't know. I like the ride. If the Yeti worked at fully worked, maybe I'd like Everest. I mean, I like Everest, but I'd like it. Maybe it would win, but I don't know. Splash Mountain, I like too much.
All right, Steven.
So I love both rides. I try to get on both of them continually. I will go with Everest. I think Everest because, like you said, it's original, and also I've gotten to ride that ride pretty exclusively ever since they built Avatar. I like both rides, and Splash Mountain can be awesome, especially in the summertime when you're roasting. But a lot of times I end up having to skip it because the line is just way too long. And so I love Everest. It's original. So I'll go with Everest.
All right, 2 for Everest, 1 for Splash. See, these two attractions are literally both 10 out of 10. So
we got rid of Space Mountain, right? That was lost.
I think so.
Yeah, I did.
So we already, I was gonna say, if we had the other 2 mountains, you can't get rid of Splash, but we already got rid of one.
We only have one roller. I think we only have 2 roller coasters: Slinky and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Oh boy. Oh, that's right. So we got rid of Big Thunder for Seven Dwarfs.
So keep that in your mind.
Go ahead, go with Everest. Get rid of all the mountains. Just keep Everest as the only
Well,
mountain.
I am. So I do enjoy Splash Mountain. I think every kid see Splash Mountain go down and the whoosh of water, and every kid wants to go on it, and seeing their faces on it for the first time is absolutely priceless. I do love Splash Mountain. I often have to tell myself that getting cooled off will be worth the amount of people's sweat and sunscreen and gross that I'm also putting on me when I cool off in that water. I do have to kind of try not to think about it. I do, however, pick Everest because Splash Mountain is down for refurb more. And so there are times that you go in and you really want to and you can't go on it just because it's getting that refurb. Like you said, everybody's over at Pandora.
Only in January. Go ahead.
It's happened before, but before I went with you. Another story. Everest you can get onto pretty easily or pretty quickly because everybody's over at Pandora. I think that is it ranks a little higher on the cool or scary or whatever kind of meter that kids use to judge it. And so like, I went on Everest kind of holds a little more weight than I went on Splash Mountain. But I do like it better when the animatronic does work, but I think it's hysterical when you get to the top of the broken, you just see the 700 hair ties everywhere. And I just think of Buzz Lightyear. He's like, hair ties everywhere. I don't know. They're both fun to go on at night. They're both fun to go on at any time, really. But I'm sticking with Everest. It is an IP.
Well, it's an original. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just so everyone knows out there, if you think that broken track doesn't trick some people, you are gravely mistaken. I took my aunt on that thing, and she saw that broken track, and she freaked out. That track's broke! She's been pointing at it, screaming.
So did I. Was he 6 at the time?
It gets some people. It gets some people.
Yeah, it got a 6-year-old, yes.
Although
and they got like a 52-year-old. So
we were paused there for far longer than we should have, and I went, this could potentially be bad. I can't let my small children know something could possibly be wrong right now because they think it's part of the ride. Yeah. And I know better.
The eagle was broken last time we went on, or the bird that's up there. We didn't get to see the bird.
Yes.
Oh boy.
The bird didn't pop out.
So we're gonna move on to the boy bands. Before we do, I'm just gonna say this: we have eliminated Frontierland altogether because we got rid of Thunder and we got rid of Splash Mountain. So
did we get rid of Country Bears?
I was gonna say, did we keep Country Bear? Oh boy,
we did keep the Country Bears.
No. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, Buford.
We got that and like a little shooting gallery to look forward to on our trips over to Frontierland.
Oh, that I love telling my kids we didn't come to Disney World to play arcade games.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But at least we kept
Tomorrowland Transit Authority Metroliner nonstop
lives
now
on.
Departing
Lives on in our park.
Plaza Station for a round trip Super Skyway tour.
All right, so we'll keep this at a brisk pace because we definitely chatted about how greedy Bob Chapek is. All
right.
No, it wasn't planned. So boy bands in a park, Sarah.
So to do my boy band, which I really was tempted to go like super obscure and be like, oh wow. I ended up not because we're retheming Main Street to Backstreet. We're bringing in the Backstreet Boys. They are our barbershop quartet. They are
Five of them.
Our
Barbershop quintet.
My Dapper Dans. We're gonna send them to barber school so they can still give haircuts. We'll see them going down Main. They'll hang out and be our barbershop quintet. But in the interest of keeping it short and sweet, that's where my boys are going.
Okay.
You are my fire.
My one desire.
Steven.
Oh, believe when I say.
I love you all. I want it that way. You should have had like things queued up, Tim. I'm disappointed in you.
I thought about it and I was like, I'll get out of control, and I didn't do it.
So
fair enough. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's all right. I want to say we're doing a full immersion. Yeah. So we're going New Kids on the Block, and we are going all 90s. All right. Now I'm thinking, how can we do this? I'm thinking, you know how was it Mama's Place? What's it called? The diner.
Mama Melrose.
Yeah. Forget the 50s. We're going
the 50s cafe.
Oh, Primetime Cafe.
Yep.
Thank you. Prime time. And we're going all 90s, and we're gonna make it look like like a teenager's like bedroom with things on the wall, right? All the pictures from the magazines, posters, like the whole thing. Everyone's going to be dressed like in the baggy jeans, the jean jackets, just lots of denim, lots and lots of denim. And we are going like 90s haircuts, the waiters, and which we were using 90s slang, right? Well, I don't remember the 90s slang. Like the music.
Yeah, really.
The TV is going to have like Married with Children. It's a 90s show, right?
80s and 90s, yeah.
It's going to have like Full House, Family Matters, the whole thing. And at X amount of times an hour, the whole staff, all the waiters, it will come together like in the middle, and you're just going to hear, oh, 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 oh. All right, and they're going to do the whole dance. I can't do it, but they're going to do the whole,
right stuff.
The right stuff.
Sorry, my brain was blank.
Yeah,
right?
he forgot the words.
Yeah. trying to keep some street cred. So
sing Hamilton.
Yeah. So they'll do that, right? Blast the music, and it's full on New Kids on the Block, 90s kind of meshed together, and that's where we are going with that.
I'm liking these ideas. I want to really I want Disney to start putting these ideas in the parks. And, they can raise the prices, and I'll go see this. Johnny.
Well, I'm also going with NKOTB, but I am putting
NKOT.
Use me.
But
it doesn't even sound good. They do it like it's the greatest acronym. It's so terrible.
No.
But anyway.
They're from Boston, Massachusetts. So I was trying to figure out a place where, Boston-ish, Massachusetts, and the only place I could think of was the Beach Club, because they have that Martha's Vineyard Lounge. It's New England style. So I figured, basically, Donnie is the only one that has a career on Blue Bloods now. So Disney could actually hire the New Kids on the Block.
Probably.
And we're going to put them at the Beach Club. They're going to be the Beach Club band. They're going to play all their music. It's not going to be like the 90s, like the dance. It's going to be them sitting on stools, play acoustic music, and they're just going to be the Beach Club band.
New Kids on the Beach.
New Kids on the Beach, whatever you want. But yeah, I think Disney could get them. Plus, I think most of them live in Florida now anyway, so it's really not even much of a big commute. So there you go, girl.
Please don't go, girl.
Oh, please don't go, girl.
God, you guys and these lyrics. Anyway, so I don't know. I
kind of don't memorize boy band stuff like you guys memorize Britney.
This is not sitting down like I'm going through a book like memorize. It's just natural. It overpowers you and you come
selective memory.
Brittany. So, because I'm so disgusted with the pricing and honestly not even as interested as I thought I once would be with the Galactic Star Cruise, I decided to take that and turn it into the Boy Band International Tour Bus, where you get a 2-night stay for half the price you pay for the Galactic Star Cruiser.
There it is.
And you get to watch various boy bands perform in different theaters throughout the course of your trip, much like you do with different shows on a cruise. So one night you might start things off with maybe a splash of 98 Degrees or LFO or pick your poison. Boys to Men.
Or Poison.
Yeah, Boys to Men.
Boy band now.
Yeah, Boys to Men.
Boy band.
Jackson 5.
Salt Poison.
We're gonna have all the animatronics decked out here. Boys to Men, which I feel like doesn't really get categorized in a boy band, but I feel like when they first came out, it was definitely a boy band. I think people liked them so. I think people liked them so much that they didn't want people wanted to like them and not be incorporated in the idea that they were teeny boppers, so they let them slide. Maybe I'm wrong. But
I think he presented himself as more mature. That's why.
But yeah, and I think you could definitely get them to actually come because I seen they were playing at Six Flags in England one time.
They had a guy with a cane in the band. I mean, they definitely weren't true.
It's true. And if Will Smith can get them to come sing at his nephew's baptism, then there's no reason why they can't come sing.
I'm pretty sure they might have played at Universal that music thing they do. I think they were one of the bands at Universal.
Well, they were 100% one of the bands at Six Flags New England when all of us went with like Chief and everything. There was an advertisement for them coming that year. I was like the week or two later after we were there. So they're down.
They may have even played at one of the Epcot festivals. They
might have.
I don't know. Yeah.
But they're gonna play in my international tour bus. All for One. Get a little I Swear in there. That's a classic. Everyone likes that. Obviously, we'll get NSYNC on select dates and premium pricing. When And what's the other? I'm getting old now. What's the other one there? What's the newer one there? The early 2010s there. Anyone? Boy band. Were they from Australia?
O-Town?
What is it?
O-Town. They're from Orlando.
Yeah,
O-Town was making the band.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
No, that band. What's the name of that band? They're from England. One with Harry Styles is in it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the one.
One Direction.
One Direction. There we go. Well, O-Town too. All of them. I want them all in there.
I'm gonna take
select dates and times, premium prices, lower prices depending on. You get the Genie app. You can buy this and get that, and have a day with Justin Timberlake and Lance Bass if that's your cup of tea. Whatever you want to do, you can do that in this international. Well, not whatever you want to do, but most reasonable things you would like to do, you can go and enjoy this tour bus. I'm
gonna take Tim's idea. I'm going to get it out of Hollywood Studios. I'm going to put it into Epcot World Showcase. We'll have Menudo. We'll have One Direction. We're going to get represented. BTS. BTS for are they Korean? Sorry, we only have China and Japan. I don't know.
They're Korean.
They're Korean.
They're Korean.
Let's get a Korea pavilion.
They're Korean because they
kind of build a new pavilion.
Some of them have to go back. They're supposed to go back to the country because they have to join the army. But they got a waiver for a little bit. Yeah.
But yeah, make it like a legit international. Make it a summer concert series. You get it, and instead of those like paper bands, you have to get the magic band of the band you're gonna see. Limited edition. Get people that.
There you go. Hey, I'm down for any of that.
In the U.S., get a little bop going on.
Well, we gonna consider Hanson a boy band.
Hanson.
Yes.
I mean, they were young, but it's not really a boy band.
Now
they wrote, played, and sang their own music. Please define boy band.
Boy bands don't write their own music. They dance in unison, and they each have a different, like, specifically.
I'm the cute one. I'm the sporty one.
Yes, exactly.
Can we throw Spice Girls in there?
I love the Spice Girls.
This website has them as a boy band. Hanson.
Yes.
Well, then you win the day.
They also have 5 Seconds of Summer, but they all play their own. Not that they
This could be. What was that like? That grunge Silverchair or something like that. Weren't they kind of a boy band too? You don't remember Silverchair, Johnny?
I remember them. I don't remember.
Gonna wait to that boy till tomorrow or something like that. The song was like that. I can't remember that. I don't know how it goes. I just remember the words a little bit.
Has their own brewery. We could have some hops while they play bop. Oh my God.
These are great attractions that I'm willing to spend top dollar for. There's other boy bands. The Osmonds. We can get the Osmonds from the 60s in there.
Donnie's a little creepy.
How about the Jackson 5 for old school?
Yeah, Jackson 5.
Yeah, he was throwing in Jackson 5.
Can we even throw in some of the random, like, heartthrob, like Leif Garrett? I can feel like that.
I feel like, though.
Can we get... Go ahead. The Von Trapp family for Germany, even though there's girls in it.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, so many of the band, like doo-wop bands, they were, when they started, very young.
Yeah.
And I mean, so it's, I mean, were they could you say they were the precursor to boy bands?
I guess boy bands will never go away because anytime you tap a market that's aimed at children, that's where the money is. Just ask Disney. So it's always going to be.
We mentioned the Jonas Brothers, right?
No, Disney's very own Jonas Brothers, and we didn't even mention them. So good on you, Lindsay.
Who else was in the Mickey Mouse Club that we can pirate? We had Justin and JC Chazé from NSYNC. We had Britney.
Yeah, Christina Aguilera.
It was Ryan Gosling was the other one, but he's not in the boy band.
Oh, he's an actor though.
I'm just saying. I don't.
Yeah, but he could. But he saved jazz when he was in La La Land. So
New
Right.
Edition.
new addition.
There's
There's
a
so
band I was
many.
thinking of.
So many.
Oh,
I think
So
of the
many-
name of the band.
So many wonderful choices.
yeah.
That's
just,
the band
just
B2K.
wonderful.
That's the band I was thinking of. B2K.
What is it?
B2K. You don't remember them with
No.
Omarion?
What about
Does Crisscross count?
Drew Hill? Does Drew Hill count? The one that Cisco was in? And Gnarls Barkley
Does Tavon count?
was in.
That guy? Tavon.
I don't know if Crisscross. There's only 2 of them, right? And
But they were young.
yeah, they could count.
Oh,
Boys.
CeeLo was part of Gnarls Barkley. I was going the other way around. Just kidding.
CeeLo.
CeeLo Green.
I like.
We can get Cisco with his. Remember he spray painted his hair silver?
It's fantastic.
And we mentioned 98 Degrees. We had to mention them.
Oh yeah.
Nick and Drew Lachey.
What? Now, let me ask you: Would at their beginning, would you consider the Beatles a boy band?
Yes.
Because here they are,
Ooh.
Birmingham, 4 mop-top kids from Liverpool.
How old were they though?
I don't know.
Were they in their 20s?
The
But
Monkeys.
younger than we are.
Wow.
Yeah, they have to be.
I'm not calling myself a member of a boy band either.
Spring chicken.
The Monkeys.
Punch Drunk. That was boy band.
The Osmonds.
No, it was not. I was already old then.
Nah.
You've aged like a fine wine.
No,
You could s-
thank you. But the band that Chris and Ray were in were potentially a boy band.
So Paul McCartney was 21.
What was the name of that band?
Which one?
What about Mortis?
It was 2 names. What the heck was the name of the band?
Oh, come on, Johnny.
Single Alliance.
Single. Yes. We're young and misguided. I remember that song.
So the
Sounds
youngest,
a little bit like The Offspring.
the youngest Beatle was George Harrison at 20.
Mm.
No.
Aired on the Ed Sullivan Show.
So they were young men band.
Well, if you count when they broke out in England before they got here, then I guess theoretically they could have been a boy band.
Yeah. But I guess both the Monkeys, the Osmonds, they were. So we can kind of, and I mean the Brady Bunch. I mean those girls in there too. But
Partridge Family.
the Partridge Family. I mean this
For the
could
Von Trapps in Germany.
Danny Bonaducci, man, that guy slap at the bass.
slap in the bass.
Up at the base.
He wasn't even really
Slap at the
playing
bass.
it. I seen an interview with him one time. He was saying that who's the older brother? He was actually a musician. He was
David
actually
Cassidy.
yeah, he was actually a musician. And so when they had to play in the show, David Cassidy would be like, "Stop, cut," and he'd go to the kid and be like, "Listen, you you don't just like strum a bass. You gotta pick it." And then he's like showing him. And Danny Bonaducci was like, "Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing," but they made lots of money. Drank lots of booze. But anyway, all right. I think we named every boy band in the history of American boy bands anyway.
Yeah.
And some British.
No, we got some
Okay.
international ones too.
And we threw some in there. Yeah, but I don't think we named them all. So I didn't want
Probably
to
not.
stake claim. We probably didn't even name all the American ones. There was probably those like 1 or 2 boy bands that just slipped in a big hit. We're just not remembering right now, but either way.
Bill
Yeah.
Bethito.
All right, this episode's gone way long. This might even be 2 parts depending on how long it is. And yeah, so we'll actually, Johnny, you and Sarah had an interview for next week. You want to tell the people who to expect next week?
Donnie Hebert from the Subject Disney podcast, who I had met actually through the Disney Dads podcast, through that group. And he does it he started it with his daughter, but he kind of incorporates his other daughters and his wife into the podcast. So it's kind of a
Family friendly show.
it's an interesting take on a podcast where you can kind of have his adult opinion with he's got younger teenage daughters and younger. So just kind of nice perspective of everything and he's a type of guy that didn't go to Disney as a kid. So you get that perspective of being an adult in Disney and with bringing kids so
Experiencing it along with his kids for the first time.
yeah, so you get a kind of different view on Disney through their eyes instead of us who are hardened Disney people who are critical of every little thing they do.
Angry.
It's
Angry Steve came out this week.
It's
I like
nice to
that.
Yeah,
get that
because we
kid
gotta pay
perspective.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great for the kids. They don't gotta pay for it.
Like you can't eat. You can't eat for a week, but we're gonna go. We're gonna go to.
You get
Yeah.
We're gonna go
see
to
the mouse.
Disney. All right.
The human trap set by a mouse.
So check. Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
So
really.
check that out next week, and we will see you, the four of us, the week after that. And take care and have a good week.